Hi, in this video I'm going to demonstrate the player interface of the Space War game Ultimate Planet. To start the game, you have to have the editor assembler cartridge in place, and I'm going to use Classic 99 to run the program. So we select the editor assembler cartridge, then we select load and run, and I have my files here in the SK2, so we'll go ahead and run the game. Wait for it to load here, and then on the program name we're going to use start. And that should get you to the splash screen, and in order to get across that, just press any key. By the way, the splash screen used the conversion program by Tursi, which really produces great results from regular images. So the first thing we see is the background hex screen where the units will be placed. The blue units are the player's units, and then you have other items on the screen. You have large meteorites, you have meteorite fields, and then you have the planet. And I can scroll a little bit here to give you a better idea of what it looks like. And so the planet consists of satellites. You have mountains here, you have plains, you have rivers, and you have these production centers, which really are the objective of the game, where you have to try to conquer as many production centers as you can. Problem is, you're not alone in this game. There are 3 other computer controlled players, and we're gonna show you where they are here. You have 1 in each corner. By the way, the game is based on 4 screens placed in a large square, with the units of each camp being placed at the 4 corners. So here's 1 corner, here's another, here's yet another, and then we are back to this home screen where your units are. You can scroll the game field around using either the control arrow keys or the function arrow keys. The control arrow keys move the game 2 hexes at a time in the direction selected, as you can see here. Whereas the function arrow keys move the screen 1 screenful at a time, like here. If you press Control H, then you are transported back to the home screen, which is a fast way to get to your units. In order to move your units, you simply move the marker around using the WER and X and the ZXC keys, basically to move in the direction of the hexes. So I'm going to move to this unit here, and then when I have the marker over the unit, I press enter, and at that point the marker turns red, and you see the vital statistics of the selected unit. There are generally 4 vital statistics: an attack potential, a defense potential, a movement potential, and a range potential. Here the movement potential for the units is 99, which is really not going to be the case in the final game, but I picked that number so that you have enough range to roam around the game field if you wish to. By the way, on the right hand side here we have the turn counter. In this demo we don't change turns yet, because this is just a player interface. So once a unit is selected, then you can just move the arrows. Use the movement keys to move the marker to the specified location, and you notice that the movement potential decreases with each hex move. Now, if you wish to take back moves, you have to use the function 9 key or the back key, and as you can see, automatically the computer will take back your move one by one, and your movement counter will reverse. So let's just get the piece somewhere and press enter, and there it goes. It goes into its new location, and then the marker turns cyan again. So there are two types of units, actually 4 types of units in the game. There are fighters here, and there are cruisers. Let me go ahead and select a cruiser here. So when you select a cruiser, you have the usual vital statistics, but you also have additional units showing up in there. These are the infantry units, and these are the armored units. Each cruiser can carry 2 of each, and you can tell how many it can carry by the numbers next to the symbol for each unit. So let's move that unit somewhere. Now, how do you jettison or basically deploy the carried units? Well, you can, once you decide where you want your cruiser to move, then you can press the J key, and what will happen is you get a choice of infantry or armored units. You of course have to have units to jettison, otherwise it won't let you do that. So let's infantry units are the only units that you can jettison into empty space. Armored units cannot go in empty space for obvious reasons. They can only be jettisoned on planes. The infantry units can go on planes also, or in empty space. So let's pick infantry units. So when you press I, the marker turns green, and it will inform you that we are deploying infantry units. At that point, you can either cancel the infantry mine, just press enter again, and you're back to the selection screen. So let's pick infantry again. At that point, you can use your marker movement keys to select a square that's within, or hex that's within 1 hex of the cruiser, which means this is the area that you can deploy the unit. You cannot, and the computer will not let you really move anywhere outside of that area. If you try, as you can see, it won't let you. So let's pick a location, and then all we have to do is hit enter, and there you go. The unit is deployed. That's the infantry unit, and you can see that the marker has decreased by 1, indicating that you have deployed that unit. And so on and so forth. You can keep doing that until all your units are exhausted. You can, once you deploy that unit, there's nothing that says you can't move your cruiser again, which first we have to press enter to exit from that, and then just move the cruiser. Let's move to a plane. Okay, by the way, cruisers can only be in empty space, so they cannot move into asteroid fields or anything else, or nor on the planets, again for obvious reasons. So once you're next to the square that you want, the hex that you want to deploy your armored units in, just press the J key again, select A for armored units, and deploy it, just like we did with infantry. In this case, I'm going to move into this plane hex and press enter, and there we go. So let's say we're done with this unit. Okay. Now, if you move the hex marker on the one of the deployed units, here the armored unit, what you will notice is you get the usual statistics, but you also get this next to them, which is the underlying terrain. This tells you what kind of terrain the unit is on currently. And this is helpful because you cannot see really under the unit on the screen. If we pick this infantry unit, and let's say we move it, actually it won't let me go on the, let's take that back actually. We we can't go into asteroid fields with infantry units. I forget about that. On the other hand, let's try to move the this unit here, which is a fighter. Let's move it onto the asteroid field. This is the only unit that can go on the asteroid field. And there we go. So let's select it again, and here you can see that it also shows you on the right hand side the type of terrain that unit is on. And that applies for all the planetary tiles. So let's scroll the game. Let's move actually the unit to the edge of the screen here with that fighter, and you will notice here that if you on certain types of terrain there is a higher movement penalty than on others. Like if you move through asteroid fields here, your movement potential declines by 2, not by 1, as you can see. Alright, let's put the unit here and let us scroll a little bit. And we'll bring it down, and let's move it again. Now, there is no automatic scrolling at the edge of the screen, and this is simply because in the real game these units have a movement potential maximum of 6, so they will not have such a huge range, and you really need to know where you're going, so automatic scrolling wasn't felt to be an added complication that was really not going to add anything to the game. But here, because we have such a large available amount of movement points, we'll just scroll it manually. So I'm going to scroll one screen at a time, and the reason I'm doing this is I want to show you what happens if you get next to an enemy unit. So let's select that fighter, and let's move it right up to a enemy unit. Once you try to move the hex marker over an enemy unit, you will get this question whether you want to attack that enemy unit. You can answer yes or no. If you say yes, then it'll give you attack confirmed, and at that point you are committed for combat, and therefore your movement potential goes to 0, and that will stay that way until the next turn. So that's essentially the gist of the game. Of course, we still have a lot of work to do on this. I still have to implement the artificial intelligence for the enemy units, as well as automatic firing for the satellites which defend the planet, and the movement of the asteroids. These here, these move automatically, or should be moving automatically with each turn, and they are an additional hazard to be aware of while navigating the game field. One thing I should probably mention also about movement is that there is a lot of flexibility in movement, is that you can move a unit somewhere, go and move another unit somewhere else, and then as long as you have movement potential left, just go back and move a unit that you moved before again somewhere else. So that really provides a very rich tactical environment in which to position your units during battle. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully there will be more to come in the future.